is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Here's to hugging corners, not cutting them. To grinding away, not grinding to a halt. Here's to those who stay true to the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. From Tallboy Storage to the latest line of extreme grip hand tools, Craftsman is there when it matters.
For Randy to get that all situated and sorted, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're watching, of course, World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Championship Series, as Randy the Robot is going to be ejected, and then Randy Chenworth is going to be right on back. So don't worry about that. So he'll get that sorted out, situated. We have got a daunting race here at the dirt track at Charlotte. However, we've got two big old names. Zach Leonardi and Howard Weaver are going to be at it today. Howard Weaver, I noticed that number 07 car has managed to place his face on the front of his machine. I don't know if that will help him get to the big old banquet dinner, World of Outlaws banquet night, but you never know. Anything could help. As it stands right now in the qualifying timing sheets, Zach Leonardi and Howard Weaver, you can't make this up, are qualified first and second. Well, I don't necessarily, I have a feeling it's going to be a storybook race like one of those situations. The dirt track at Charlotte is always a fantastic racing surface. As you take a look at the championship standings, and this is with some of the drop weeks in the service, Zach Leonardi with a 679, Howard Weaver with a 674. We will be updating that as, of course, the prizes. I mean, where could you possibly go wrong here? You get, well, first of all, you get the big old paycheck. Then you get a big old Craftsman toolbox set. Then you get to ride along with Clint Boyer out down south, where he will take you in his two-seater late model car, and you guys will take turns, learn how to drive that thing. I believe you get that the MPI racing wheel. I mean, it is just an absolute, king as it is. I think out of all of the World Championship Series, this is definitely the one that has the most prizes as far as I'm concerned. Either way, the heat number one is going to be getting underway as Randy is continuing to beat his computer with a screwdriver and or socket wrench, potentially from that Craftsman 320-piece mechanics tool set. But either way, heat number one is going to get underway, and I'm sure once Randy gets on in here, he's going to have a lot to talk about for you guys here today, as he's, of course, running the show. I, of course, do the colors, as we have got super late models on it today. There's the point standings on your screen, and as that fades away, we've got heat number one to get to. It is Zach Leonardi, the number 24 machine. He did qualify first here at the dirt track at Charlotte. It's a 4/10 of a mile circuit. It's a pretty standard oval circuit, as you would expect, not like a D shape or anything like that. As we get ready to get underway for heat number one, it's got Austin Selman, who's got a good qualifying. Matt McKinney, who's also good. He's a little far back, but you know what? He's got a good qualifying here today. Mark Molnar, Casey Kerwin, Adam Carter, James Edens, Garrett DeBruge, Jacob Leverstein is going to be rounding out your field here at the dirt track at Charlotte's first heat race. As we've said, I am not Randy Chenoweth. I am instead Cameron Walsh. And this is normally the part where I lean on Randy to talk about the track surfaces and all the important stuff like that I just can never seem to grasp, but he's not here, so instead what we will do is say goodbye to the pace truck on the back stretch. That's where he pulls into the safety of pit lane, and Zach Leonardi gets us ready to spool away. He starts all the way at the high side, almost makes that inside tire, and we will get underway here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Austin Selman's running too wide with Matt McKinney, and here comes Mark Molnar on the inside. He's got a good on the number 97 machine. He's moving onto the inside. He is now into that third spot. Remember, of course, top 4 is what goes to the next series session. Zach Leonardi has got Austin Selman, number 18 machine, potentially running on his inside, but Zach Leonardi, with that little bit of a jump, he's managed to get a gap. And will he be comfortable up there? We don't know, because Austin Selman is trying to chase him down, and I think he might have the overall runs right here. It seems that the majority of the field is running the inside line to the outside line on exit, whereas Zach Leonardi is running high side straight. So we'll have to see how these super late model machines manage to work their way through here as we clear halfway through the first heat. Zach Leonardi is almost running out of track already, which is kind of surprising. The track is absolutely brand spanking new. So interesting to see that as the battle for 4th position is going on between Matt McKinney and Casey Kerwin. One car gets a little bit loose there in the back. That's Randall Carter, the number 37 machine. So his heat is going to go to the Consolation race as we have got a grand old battle between McKinney and Kerwin. They're both taking very nearly the same lines. I'm already noticing some ruts forming in the racing surface. So that'll be fairly interesting as time goes on. Leonardi with that outside line seems to be getting more and more comfortable as the track wears in, whereas Austin Selman seems to be falling back. So as we got 2 to go, we can focus on this position 4 battle between the number 9, the all-white Matt McKinney machine, and the number 14, Dead Zone racing car, Casey Kerwin, who just pancakes the outside, while James Edens is riding that high side as he's watching along here. As Matt McKinney there is closing on Mark Molnar. Now what do you want to do? Do you want to pressure Mark Molnar and try to get the pass because you're watching out for Casey Kerwin? Or you just want to hold on here as white flag is in the air for Zach Leonardi, who also has his face on the front hood of his racing machine. Again, not quite sure if that's going to help him, but we'll have to see as he will obviously punch his ticket to the feature. He picks up the victory in heat number 1. That'll get him a good, nice points haul, and it does go to Matt McKinney over at Mark Molnar. So, with that, the results are up. Everybody finished basically where they started, minus the 6th position car and the 7th position car. So overall, heat number 1, just let the track get in. See if we can get Randy in here, and we will say hi to our big guy here, and we will get ourselves a rolling. Okay, as heat number 2 is going to get ready to rock and roll. It is Howard Weaver, the 07 machine. Virgil Graham is also there, his outside, and it goes to Awesome Car, Tyler Ducarme, Adam Elby, Kevin Dedman, Philip Diaz, who I think is basically get the hard charger almost every single race. So for Phil Diaz, you're going to have to pick up a couple of positions here, which is pretty difficult to do in the first heats. Then you got David Heilman and then Josh Phillips cars rolling around the track behind the safety truck now. So with that, for Howard Weaver, he just has Austin Carr behind him and Virgil Graham to his side. Ducarme is typically pretty quick. Adam Elby has his days in the sun as well. So how will all these drivers manage to push their way through? Will you be aggressive? Will you be patient? This is, of course, the final race of the season for these super late model machines. We have, of course, the sprint cars next week. Lights off on the pace truck. You will see him pull into the safety of pit lane in the back stretch, and then we will get underway. Here is Howard Weaver. Will get ready in his apparently Toyota Camry. Will be getting ready to run. He also has his face on that machine. I don't know who came up with that idea, but it is, at least I will say, somewhat ingenious. as Howard Weaver will get ready to lay it down. He's almost to the middle of the track, whereas Leonardi was kind of way on the high side, and Weaver, he gets a much better jump. I think he pretty much cleared the whole field there, and Austin Carr's running inside of Virgil Graham. Virgil Graham's not going to be able to get the cut that he wants. A lot of guys sliding to the outside wall. Here we are, green, and heat number 2, as Howard Weaver is going to be your first running position car. Virgil Graham is running in second, and Austin Carr. Adam Elvey is now getting some pressure from Ducarm, who's moved down to the inside line, as Weaver now moving a little bit to the inside line. He's now searching over the track, and that's going to be very important here. You run the high side too often, you're going to start beating and banging that outside wall, and you do not want to have that happen. Virgil Graham running comfortably in second position, but Austin Carr is trying to cut that inside nose, as Weaver, he basically has ruled the roost right now. Lap number 3. As he's trying to go high side, low side. You're starting to see here, if we get any of these low pan shots, just how much suspension travel. There you go. On that right rear tire is already formed here on the second heat. Halfway through the second heat, Howard Weaver is, as going through these corners, you can see the cars bouncing. I can only imagine once we get going here in this 50-lap feature how much of this track is going to be left, as Virgil Graham is running comfortably in second. Austin Carr is running in third, and then you got the battle between Adam Elvey and Tyler Ducarm. Ducarm, he started in 4th, and Adam Elvey started in 5th. They've swapped positions. Then you've got Phil Diaz running in the 6th position, as we only have 2 laps to go to punch your ticket to the main event. Of course, if you do not, you're going to get a good starting position in the consolation race. So it is Weaver, Graham, Carr, Elvey with just 2 to go, as Adam Elvey seems to have broken away from the quote pack, as Ducarm seems to have lost maybe 2-3 car lengths behind, as Howard Weaver seems to have found himself comfortably running the inside line. Carr trying to run a high line. There's nowhere to go there, because the inside line does bring up to the track to the outside wall on the exit of the corners, as Howard Weaver, he hangs high through 1 and 2, and then he goes to the low side through 3 and 4. That might be what we see here today. Howard Weaver puts down the throttle on his super late model. He will pick up the points for heat number 2. Virgil Graham will come home in second position. Austin Carr will then finish happily in 3rd, and Adam Elvey will be the one to snipe that 4th position away from Tyler Ducarm on that restart. Now, I ask, as I lean my hand over to the one and only Hugo Louis, we get Randy yet now? I'm going to take that as a keep talking. So, I will keep talking. We have got Justin Thomas on the outside, or on the inside, Alex Bergeron on the outside. Drew Hirschko is going to be running in the 3rd position. Charles Casper will be running in 4th. John Fiddler will be running in the 5th position. Jacob Fields in 6th. Zach Brown in 7th. Brandon Schmidt will be running in the 8th position, and Nick Cooper rounds out our fields of heats for the day. The final heat of the 2018 World of Outlaws Craftsman Super Late Model Cars. Getting ready to rock and roll here as we get ready behind the safety truck to go once again. No safety truck, our trusty steed, the unmarked pace truck will get ready to leave the track for the final heat, for the final time here at the dirt track at Charlotte, where the world finals, of course, of dirt racing tend to happen here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Seems to be a very good racing circuit. It's a new addition-ish, as I'm sure the drivers at this point are used to the track, but if you're a spectator, maybe not so much. It is a good, fun, somewhat banked circuit, and it's going to put on a good show when we get to this feature race. So, Justin Thomas is going to be the one with the chute, as he's got his foot hovering over that right pedal. Will Alex Bergeron be able to get the jump? He gets at least a good jump, as Justin Thomas is going to have to stay to the inside line here, and then Alex Bergeron hits the outside wall. That slows him up just enough to where he might actually powers alongside on the outside line. We got a battle together for the final race, as Justin Thomas and Alex Bergeron take a couple of nips out of each other. Here comes 115 of John Fiddler. He parks it in front of Drew Hirschko. Drew Hirschko has the inside line taken by Zach Rounds. It's a bunch of white cars in the middle of the circuit, so if you're following along at home, that's very difficult to do. But Alex Bergeron gets to shoot. He gets the drag line down to the inside line. He throws it up front. That's your first slide job of the day as Justin Thomas covers it. And here comes John Fiddler. He's trying to do it. You've got an entire pack of racing cars as John Fiddler gets completely swarmed on the inside and the outside. They go 3 wide for position number 1 as Alex Bergeron, the number 12 machine, is covering Justin Thomas very well, but that allows the number 26 machine of Drew Hirschko to go on the outside line, and Zach Rounds in that yellow and white machine to go on the inside line. And now Justin Thomas is getting cycled back. He's getting a little, I would say, as they're running 3 wide once again. The number 3 machine getting a big tap as they go almost 4 wide. Here comes up the middle Jacob Fields. Jacob Fields gives a big old shove to Charles Cosper in that number 33 machine, and they're going to continue. But what that means is that now it is down to 5. Who is going to get that 4th finishing position? Is it going to be Zach Rounds? Is it going to be John Fiddler? Those are the ones that we want to keep our eyes on right now. And for Justin Thomas, well, I mean, you got to give him credit. He tried as best he can. But I will say, for Alex Bergeron, proving once again he always gets the starts, even when he's not the one on the start. As here comes Justin Thomas, he almost will go from first to completely out and missing the feature race as we are on lap number 7 as the 12 machine manages to get a good break. Drew Hirschko has a break, so let's continue watching along with John Fiddler and Zach Rounds as right now those are the cars that are fighting for that final position. Justin Thomas, he has got 1 lap to go to fight alongside, but it looks to me like Zach Rounds is going to clear him away there as they now for the final lap go in straight line, and Alex Bergeron will pin it off of the exit number 4. He will pick up the checkered flag and the points. Drew Hirschko will finish in the 2nd position. John Fiddler in 3rd. Zach Rounds in the 4th position, and Justin Thomas, well, just a little bit of bumping and banging that can happen to you. He started in the 1st position. He finished 1 position outside, which means he will start in position number 3 for our consolation race. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? That's some good old-fashioned motor racing right there. I don't care who we are. As it proves my point that the track at Charlotte is a grand old time. So we got a couple of Dead Zone Racing drivers. That's going to be starting up front. It's the 14 machine of Casey Kerwin and the 25 machine of Tyler DeCarm. And they're going to be starting up your front row. Then, of course, you've got Justin Thomas, who has to be asking himself, what just happened? He's going to want to focus. He's got to finish top 8. I have a feeling he's going to be very keen on keeping that position. James Eden's starting his outside. Phil Diaz going to be starting in 5th. Then you got Jacob Fields, Garrett Nabuge, Kevin Zedman, Nick Cooper, Randall Carter, David Heilman, Charles Cosper. They got Jacob Leverstein, Josh Phillips, and Brandon Schmidt. It's going to be starting in the final position, position number 15, for the last consolation race of the 2018 World of Outlaws Craftsman Super Late Model Series iRacing Tour here as the track at Charlotte. Getting ready to round up one more time. This is going to be a 15-lap feature. Again, top 8 will move on. So with that, we've got, of course, our iRacing unidentifiable safety truck as he will pull to the inside. I'd almost wonder what his championship points look like. As, of course, you know what, I will say, perhaps for the super late models, maybe not so much. Simply because these guys have been running cream significantly. I'm not sure if we're going to have that here tonight, of course. Elbows are going to be out. People want to get into the final show of the season, as Casey Kerwin will take us into the dark one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the consolation race for the final time this year. It is the dirt track at Charlotte. Casey Kerwin takes the green. He gets the whole shot over Tyler DeCarm, and we are green here at the dirt track. As Justin Thomas finds himself once again getting swarmed up, perhaps the machine just not that set up for getting that good run right here. As Phil Diaz is running that inside line, James Evans is trying to run the outside line. He should be able to have him, as it is massive high, massive low, as the rest of the field scrambling around trying to figure out where to go. As Garrett Nabuge finds himself at position number 7. He was right in the middle of the track. He now tries the outside line. Boy, does he pay for it. Kevin Dedman slides right on in. That number 5 machine gets straightened out. He gets popped into the outside wall. He careens himself, checks himself, gets that thing back under control. That's why I love these late model machines, as there's some beating and banging going on in the back of the field. This is 21 machine, and David Heilman gets a lovely tap from Charles Cosper. Sure, he's not going to be happy about that. He wants to get into the final show. Everybody wants to get into the final show of the season. And that position right now goes to the number 5 machine of Kevin Dedman. Good running from Casey Kerwin. He's your four. As two cars actually collide on the outside line. Three cars now. One car upside down. Garrett Nabrouge is upside down. His season is going to be done. Philip Diaz, his season is going to be done. As this all started coming off of the corner of number 4, it looks to me like the 37 car spun Kevin Dedman, and then that kind of ended quite a couple of driver seasons. Very unfortunate for those guys right now, but you know what? Them's the breaks, and when it comes to the final race of the season, you never like to see that happen. But for Casey Kerwin, he is flying right now. We are just passing where the heat races would end, and now we've got the bonus laps, this consolation run, 15 laps. So, of course, as Casey Kerwin, he has got about 6, maybe 7 car lengths as you're starting to see the track to form. On the entry to the corner, in the exit to the corner, right about where they pin the throttle, you can start to see that lovely shine starting to come across. You can actually start seeing the ruts, too, which is, of course, a lovely feature here on the iRacing simulation. Tyler Ducarme, the number 25 machine, he's still running inside, and James Edens, he's trying to run outside, but very important what you were able to see right there as James Edens, he tapped that outside wall, and that slowed him out just enough that if the 007 machine didn't see him, he would have absolutely careened into the back of him, and that can happen during the feature. That can cause big trouble. As looking back now, position number 8 is Josh Phillips. He stands right now to be the last one to do it. And Jacob Leverstein, who somehow he is just not going to be able to do it. He started in 13th. He is now just one position away, and his lap times are slightly slower than Josh Phillips. So unfortunate for him. He might not make the final show. Very disappointing, I'm sure, for him. But you know what? Anything can happen in these last 4 laps. These guys are racing. Justin Thomas has Randall Carter on his inside. As will Randall Carter try to throw this slider. Of course, he was the one that kicked off that incident that finished off the season for maybe about 3-4 cars, but that seems to me he's got the speed on the coating onto the inside, but it just looks to me like Justin Thomas, after riding that outside wall a couple of times, is going to be able to get the overspeed, and that high side is coming into play here, and the groove does seem to be coming into the inside line as Casey Kerwin goes around the lap car of Phil Diaz. Phil Diaz, you got to tip your hat to him. He wants to finish out his season here with that damaged machine, and he will indeed. But you know what? That allows Ducarme to get caught by James Edens and Jacob Fields. They're going to be fighting for position. Boys, you don't want to do this. You've got a feature race they're running too. As here we go, as we are on the white flag, the final consolation for the 2018 season for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Super Late Model Series. It's Casey Kerwin. He's coming off the corner. He pins that number 14 Dead Zone Racing machine, and he will look to pick up the victory here in the consolation race, and he does. 3 minutes, 52 seconds. It's Casey Kerwin, Tyler Ducarme, Jacob Fields, James Edens, Justin Thomas, Randall Carter, Nick Cooper, and Josh Phillips will be the ones going to that feature race. Now, we have got a commercial break to take, and after that, 20 of the best virtual dirt sim racing drivers are going to have the final feature race of this season. Who's going to win the championship? Is it going to be Zach Minardi? Is it going to be Howard Weaver? We'll find out in just a few moments' time. Stick with us. You're watching the iRacing Esports Network.
Man, I'm looking forward to the late model championship. It's going to be an exciting season. It all comes down to the wire for that championship right there in Charlotte. I think you're going to be able to go to the World Outlaw, not only the finals right there, but the banquet, and then the ultimate package is to get in my 2-seat dirt late model and burn some laps in the racetrack in real life. So looking forward to seeing whoever's going to conquer all and win that thing and spend some time with them.
Did you know your DirtVision.com account gives you free access to our on-demand video library? From the DirtVision.com homepage, click on On-Demand Video near the top right of the screen. And from there, countless hours of World of Outlaws footage awaits at your fingertips. Watch every lap of the current World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series season.
Sheldon Hutch looking for a run. Dives low into turn 3, slide job! Sheldon Hutch, shield to the cushion. Johnson turns it back underneath him, but Sheldon leads lap 23.
Or dive into some of the historical options with videos in our Classics section.
He has clear visibility, comes off the 4th turn in the clear, and leads lap number 1.
It's all available free and on demand on DirtVision.com.
technical issues asunder for me this evening, but we have a fantastic feature event that you would not want to write up any other way. 20 of the best have worked themselves through into the feature event, and it is the Championship 2 that find themselves starting on the front row. Let's go down your 50-lap, 20-car starting grid here at Charlotte. Zach Leonardi and Howard Weaver will lead the field off into turn 1 for the first time. Zach Leonardi has eked out an extra point over Howard over the course of the night due to his pole position in qualifying. Howard needs to make up 6 points during this feature to be crowned champion. Bergeron and Austin Selman, they will roll off on row number 2 with Virgil Graham and Drew Hirschko on row number 3. Matt McKinney and Austin Carr are on the 4th row with John Fiedler and Mark Molnar on row 5. Adam Elby and Zach Rounds are on row 6 with Casey Kerwin and Tyler Ducharme on row 7. Jacob Fields and James Edens are on row 8 with Justin Thomas and Randall Carter on row 9 with Nick Cooper and Josh Phillips rounding out the 20-car field. They're rolling themselves off cam. Just for reference, it's basically 3 points per position here in the feature. So what needs to happen is that if Howard Weaver wins this thing and Zach Leonardi finishes 3rd, we have ourselves a tie, and we go to a tiebreaker, which would be most wins. So we are pretty much taking this down to the wire. Question is, can Weaver win this thing or at least beat Zach by a couple of spots somewhere throughout the field?
I mean, it is going to be high drama and dramatics. I still love that they plastered their face on the front of their machines. That is very interesting coming to me down the front stretch right now. But I will say, it's going to be wild. How aggressive do you be? Do you want to it's a 50-lap feature. You can't pressure and go in right off the bat. I don't think that's going to be a good strategy, but you never know. We'll have to see here as we get ready to go.
Only one way to find out. 10 weeks building up to this. 11th one now only has 50 laps on the board. Let's see who is going to take home thousands of dollars in prize money, a Craftsman tool set, an MPI steering wheel, get themselves a free trip to Charlotte for the World Finals. Everything's on the line here. Green flag at Charlotte, and Howard immediately falls back into P number 3, still working the top side. Bergeron down on the bottom as they work down the back straightaway in towards 1 and 2, and Leonardi has a buffer to his championship rival.
And Alex Bergeron, he was at one point in this championship battle. A bad couple of rounds sort of cycled him right on back, and you know what? He managed to get in a massive jump on that heat. That led him to winning it, and now he is absolutely rolling ahead of Howard Weaver. For Howard Weaver, you know what? I'm going to say it is one of those situations where you just kind of buckle in and you let yourself just let the laps tick down. Let the laps tick down. You got some massive fighting back in between 6th position and 5th position, as I believe it's all on me now. No pressure at all. It's more pressure, I'd have to say, than Leonardi and Weaver. Clearly, no. It's one of those situations, honestly, for Zach Leonardi, this might just be. He's got about a 2-car gap over Alex Bergeron, and Bergeron is getting pressured immensely as he hits the outside wall. Howard Weaver managed to take a good, nasty bite out of the side of Drew Hirschko. The cars look okay, as he is now dropping back 4, 5, 6 positions. Perhaps the patient game isn't working out in Howard Weaver's favor, because now this championship is going to be, if we have one of those little scales that could tip back and forth, it goes to Zach Leonardi, who's running that outside line right now. You can see how much these cars are bumping down corner number 3 and 4 and bumping in corners 1 and 2 as Howard Weaver throws a whale to the inside of Austin Semmelman. Semmelman taking it 3 wide for only a moment's time before taking the nose away from Howard Weaver. There goes Drew Hirschko. He's comfortably on the outside line. If you're Howard Weaver, what do you do here? Do you get aggressive? Do you start fighting with people? You're in the pack. And the pack is not where you want to be. Anything can happen. The pack just went 4 wide for a few moments' time as looked to me like Austin Carr, that number 1 machine, the white car with the blue, that is fighting against the red and white car of Matt McKinney, almost took out that Matt McKinney coming up, climbing to the inside wall. As Randy, we have got 9 laps in already. And I got to say, for Zach Leonardi, he has got a 6-car gap. It's the tale of 2 stories here. Howard Weaver's almost 3 wide. Zach Leonardi is sailing away.
This is a nightmare situation for Howard Weaver to be starting up near the front of the field, at least have a chance to fight with Zach. Now he's fallen outside of the top 5. He needs to hope for some sort of miracle, and he needs cautions, Cam, and he needs to be aggressive when he gets them, because he does not look like he has the pace right now to work himself back forward. He's just trapped right here with the 115 of John Fiddler and Matt McKinney. I mean, like the Selman and Herchko, they're driving away from the 07.
And it looks to me like Howard Weaver's car is okay. He did get a big, hefty shot from Drew Herchko, and Drew Herchko's side is caved in a little. Maybe it did hit him right where that wheel is. Maybe he's fighting it. I don't know. But it looks to me like he's getting swallowed up by the field, which is odd because he qualified second and he ran very strong in his heat race. Maybe he is carrying just a smidge of damage on that 07 machine.
Definitely seems like it. We know that that's a recent update with these cars. The fact that a little bit of damage to the outside, at least on the quarter panel, that will hurt your speed a little bit. But if you take a big shot to the rear, the 26 of Hershko actually found the outside wall going down the back straightaway, you will lose a big chunk of time. So maybe that's what's happened to the 07 of Howard Weaver as we're working lap number 15 of 50 on tonight. The 26 of Hershko has his hands full with the 18 of Austin Selman.
One car around. It's Adam Elby, and did these guys they managed to get themselves straightened out? I was going to say James Edens took a hefty bite out of the rear of Adam Elby after they both hit the outside wall. Justin Thomas also hit the outside wall, Randy, and you know what? We're still green.
We're still green, so keeping it as great as we can. Green racing has been the norm in this championship, and Zach Leonardi is out to a 0.8 of a second lead over Alex Bergeron. Virgil Graham is keeping Alex very honest into that 12 car as they work through corners number 2 and 3. Drew Herchko and Austin Selman, they continue to fight side by side as Howard Weaver is still trying to work his way forward, but he just does not have the pace that he had early on in the night, Cam. We saw him qualify well, we saw him win a heat race, and he's just struggling so much trying to reel in his teammate at that 18 out in front of him.
Yeah, something has to be going on with that machine. I mean, you can't, I will have to say, certainly pressure isn't getting to him, I have to say. So, unfortunate there. He's just going to have to count on a caution, but when he can have a 3-car incident that can straighten themselves out as they're almost going 4 wide again in the back of the pack, so we might have that as Matt McKinney's going 3 wide, almost a squeeze to Casey Kerwin there for position number 10, but with racing like that in the back of the pack, anything can happen at this point. But I will also say, if they stay green, those cars that manage to get themselves spun around, Justin Thomas, Adam Elby, Tyler Ducarme, they're going to find themselves lap traffic.
Yeah, definitely going to be one of the things that we need to look out for within 50-lap event. Justin Thomas will be the first car doing 1 lap down after Zach Leonardi. Then you have the likes of Adam Elby, Tyler Ducarme, and Josh Phillips.
Yeah, and for Josh Phillips, I mean, he's been looking to have a good day at pretty much any point. But you know what? He's been making the final races, and he wants to see what he can do. As Josh Phillips, he's moved up from the 20th position up to 17th, but he's managed to get himself some pretty significant outside damage. And I gotta say, for Howard Weaver, as Jacob Fields pounds the outside wall there, Casey Kerwin going nose to nose with Randall Carter, the 37 machine as Randall Carter's running that inside, almost muscles him out. I gotta say, for Howard Weaver, he's caught Austin Carr. Actually, the other way around. Austin Carr has pushed him, or has pushed past. So Howard Weaver's back in the 7th position. I gotta say, I mean, to have one car, the number 26 machine of Drew Herchko come to the inside and take a nap out of your car, and then you lose that speed. It was a pretty big hit, but at the same time, it seemed so little, as right now it is Zach Leonardi with a 1.4-second gap after 6 minutes and 30 seconds of racing here. He's on the outside of Justin Thomas as we now enter the realm of lap traffic. To say, if you're trying to encounter lap traffic, you're trying to run lap traffic, anything can happen here. I have seen multiple times. I was up at Super Dirt Week up at Oswego, actually sitting right next to Alex Bergeron of all things, watching these races. 3 feature races ended up coming down to a last lap pass courtesy of lap traffic. Can we see that happen here? Well, 1.8-second gap. He's almost getting 2/10 per lap. I do not think so. So it's Leonardi, Bergeron, Graham, Herchko, Semmelman, Carr, Weaver, Fiddler, Rounds, McKinney is your top 10. But Well, we'll have to see here. Matt McKinney ends up throwing a massive slider there. I had to hold my breath. And actually, one car almost going around. Randall Carter does straighten it out. It doesn't seem these guys are throwing elbows. And these guys, they could throw a caution out if they tried. And trust me, they have. As Matt McKinney is coming along here as he was trying to run that as high outside line. Now he runs that high inside line. As it looks to me, Jacob Fields, most of these cars are starting to tap that outside wall, which is going to start giving these cars damage. Zach Brown's running that inside line here now on Casey Kerwin. So there is slide jobs a coming, as that can certainly mean a caution or a race-ending incident anytime soon. As Zach Leonardi, he is running that significant outside line. He's comfortable, 2.6 seconds. Alex Bergeron trying to get around Adam Elby. He's trying to catch Adam Elby, and that is not helping here, as here comes position number 3, Virgil Graham, 20 laps. It's 18 to go, and the rest of the 2018 season here on the iRacing Esports Network, Raceback TV Dirt Vision. Of course, thanks for having us as always, as Virgil Graham is trying to hum along to the inside line here, as Alex Bergeron trying to run the outside line. It seems to me that Bergeron just gets a better exit off of corner number 3 and 4 than Virgil Graham. Might just be how his line is going. As Leonardi has now cleared Josh Phillips. He now has Tyler DeCarma ahead of him, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all because of this lap traffic. So Virgil Graham running the outside line, following Alex Bergeron here as we close out lap number 35.
Coming up here on a 15 laps to go, as Cam and I do the commentator equivalent of the sidewalk shuffle. Bergeron still fighting for the second spot here with Virgil Graham, but real big talking point, Cam, is that for the 07 of Howard Weaver, this is pretty much hopes and dreams done and over with. You're coming up towards 10 laps to go, this deep in the pack, Zach Leonardi having 3 seconds to work with. Now you're in a situation with Zach, he doesn't even have to push himself going through traffic. He has a 3-second buffer over Alex. He just cruised his way through. He's not feeling any pressure out front, and that means you're unlikely to see a mistake coming from that number 24.
I will make one point, and it is going to be cryptic. We can play with the fuel numbers here again. Could potentially somebody not fill? Because let me tell you, there probably should have been 2 or 3 cautions at this point. There have been none so far. We've only got 12 laps, 11 laps now left in the season. Could potentially some of these cars start running out of gas?
It is definitely something to think about. We know that that's typically a problem you'll see in the sprint cars because those cars are so light. People will often underfill them to try to get some help with some of the yellows, but here in the late models, that's not typically been an issue because, you know, I'm trying to think, we've had a few of these races this season, Cam, in the late models, as we hit the 10 lap to go mark, go caution free, and I don't recall that ever really being a problem amongst any of the front runners.
The only time I can remember, I think somebody stalled it out under yellow, and like 1 corner to go, but it wasn't any that big deal. Anyways, we saw on the TVs Virgil Graham getting by Alex Bergeron, which is surprising to me. I thought, you know, Bergeron would only get faster, but as it turns out, Graham's only getting faster, but it's not very helpful when you have 3 going on 4 lapped cars between you and the leader. Meanwhile, the rest of the fighting field, John Fiddler and Austin Carr seems to be just about it, fighting for position number 6.
Fights up and down the field still as we approach the end of this championship. Austin Carr, John Fiddler, they're still duking it out for P6 and P7, but still the fight for second is close.
And it is, as the fist fight continues elsewhere. But I will say, I don't think Bergeron has the speed. For Virgil Graham, he's got some 3-4 car lengths just after 2 laps here. I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's 5 laps left in this championship. And you know what? We have the spreadsheets out. We've got the Google calculatorons and all that stuff. I don't think we're going to need any of that because Zach Leonardi has gotten around James Edens, and you know what? That's, I can tell you right now it's not good for Howard Weaver because James Edens is in 15th position and Zach Leonardi just put him a lap down. That is how fast and consistent that number 24 machine has been. You've got just 3 laps left in the season right now. Virgil Graham has a controlling gap over Alex Bergeron for 3rd as Josh Phillips and Drew Hirschko continuing their fight. Drew Hirschko, the kind of the the noticeable highlight of this race early on. Tried to take the inside line away from Howard Weaver. Was there contact? Yes. Was there damage? Well, that's kind of the thing that they'll be talking about for a long time, because Howard Weaver, ever since that point, has been dropping back. He is now fighting for position at number 8, as we have got just 2 laps to go. 2 times around the 410 mile here at the dirt track at Charlotte for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Super Late Model Series, the white and light blue. The man's face is on the front. The number 24 machine, one more time around. Ladies and gentlemen, your inaugural Super Late Model champion is Mr. Zach Artie. How about that? Virgil Graham does come home in the 2nd position. Alex Bergeron comes home in 3rd. Drew Hirschko 4th. Austin Semmelman will comfortably come home in 5th position. Austin Carr in 6th. Then you've got Fiddler, and there is Howard Weaver. I cannot imagine how dejected that has to be to qualify 2nd, try and make your way through, and ended up having someone trying to take your inside line and potentially giving you some outside damage. And Randy, I gotta say, that has got to be a really tough way to lose a season.
Yeah, that's got to be. I know for a fact that Howard Weaver, he's going to go give a congratulatory bump. Howard's at least a good enough sport about that, but you know that Howard, he's going to be frustrated just in general, especially if he got damage on that machine. You know, he's basically going to be sitting there feeling like he never had a chance the whole night to really be able to even fight for the championship, at least through that feature after that bump.
And so the full results are going to be coming up on your screen. We had 13 minutes of racing, 13 minutes and 4 seconds. Of course, it was Zach Leonardi who took the 1st position, Virgil Graham who took the 2nd position. Alex Bergeron will come home in 3rd. Joe Hirschko will come home in 4th position. Austin Semmelman finishes in 5th to round out his 2018 campaign. Austin Carr comes home in 6th after starting 8th. John Fiddler will come home in 7th. Howard Weaver, not a good day at all, comes home in the 8th position. He was kind of taken out of it early with a little bit of a glancing blow. Jacob Fields will go from 15th position to 9th, which you got to remember, no cautions this race. So there you go, 15th to 9th. That's your hard charger award right there. Casey Kerwin will finish in 10th. Nick Cooper in the 11th position. Then you got Randall Carter, Matt McKinney, who was in it all action all day long here during the feature. Zach Rounds will finish in the 14th position. James Edens finishes out his campaign in the top 15. Tyler Ducar, Mark Milner, Josh Phillips, Adam Elby, and then your final finisher, 1 lap down, is Justin Thomas. And we are going to take an advertising break. Don't go anywhere. We have got our championship winner here standing by on iRacing Esport Network, Racebot TV, Dirt Vision. We'll be seeing you in just a few moments' time.
What part did courage play in this victory?
Mike Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how John up on the center track.
Tell you what, there was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws' Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Well, as frustrating of a night as it was for me, I think it was a pretty good night for one person in particular. And let's go ahead and get him in here. The number 24 of Zach Leonardi coming in as the championship favorite, able to hold on. Zach, technical issues asunder for us in the booth tonight, but no issues for you as you get to call yourself World of Outlaw Craftsman Late Model Championship Series champion. How are you feeling?
I'm pretty damn good right now. Just relieved more than anything to finally have this race over with. I've been worrying about it for a while, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I was pretty nervous going into qualifying a heat race in there.
Now let's talk about that. Of course, it was a odd situation with the points. Of course, with the drop weeks in play, you came in as the favorite, 5 points, and you didn't let that pressure get to you whatsoever. You put yourself on pole, Howard putting himself second, so you immediately open up a 1 point gap there, meaning you going into the feature race, you go from the situation where if Howard finishes 2 spots behind you, you would lose the championship, to then you would potentially tie and maybe even win the tiebreaker. I mean, how closely were you paying attention to the points throughout the night, or were you just going out there and letting it all out, and wherever things lie, they lied?
Well, I wanted to go into it and just be like, wherever they lied, but I was thinking about it all night. You know, I've been looking at it with the drop for the past few races, and I knew it was going to be really close going into this one. And then, of course, when I qualified pole, I was relieved, but then Howard was second. And I knew I got 6, but that still ain't a lot. So I had to go out in the race and just make no mistakes, and fortunately that worked out.
Now, of course, not only do you get to call yourself champion, you got an extra $3,000 check coming your way. Craftsman 320-piece mechanics tool set, an MPI steering wheel, an official World of Outlaw trophy. You get to wheel and deal in Clint Boyer's 2-seater late model, I believe on October the 31st, and as well, you get yourself a trip to the World of Outlaw World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte. Get yourself a championship winner acknowledgement at the race weekend. VIP tickets to the event, pit passes, honorary starter, and flagger for one of the races. And of course, you get to go to the banquet on November the 4th. You got a very busy weekend coming up for you here in a couple weeks. Anyone you think you're going to be taking to share that experience with?
I think I'm only 17, so I think I'm going with my dad, and I don't know how many tickets we get. I think Tyler Ducharme's going to try to come down there. He's been really big help. And
you're not going to buy tickets for all your friends with that $3,000 check?
Most of that's going to my racing, man. That's going straight out of my pocket, straight into the racing fund. But we're going to see. I'm going to get as many guys as I can down there. I know Casey wants to go, and I want to get him there, and all the team guys we can, Houston Hammer, and whoever we can get. Hopefully Howard will show up so I can go talk to him. We had an awesome championship battle, but yeah, I know we're going to try to get Tyler down there, and hopefully Casey, and just as many guys from the team as we can celebrate.
Thank you, Zach, for joining us. Congratulations on the championship. You put on one heck of a show throughout the entirety of it, watching you and Howard really battle. And, of course, Alex Bergeron, he was involved with those championship fights during a bulk of the season as well. Luck, unfortunately, went against them the last handful of races. Before we let you go, though, who gets it done for that number 24 machine? Who helped you out doing this entire path to get into this championship?
First and foremost, I want to give a major shout out to Dead Zone Racing for putting me on the pro program. We didn't have many cars. We started out with just me and Casey, and a lot of it I was having to help Casey through because he's not much of a dirt guy, so I was having to get him accustomed to it, and he's come on really strong into the season here. And we got with Tyler, and Tyler was an incredible help tonight. My setup it seemed to be good, and it was good, and then we went in practices early on tonight, and I was struggling on it, so Tyler really picked it up, and I ended up running on the setup that he'd been building. So I want to give a really big shout out to him. I hated he got another rough night, but all the team guys, everybody supported us. You guys for doing the broadcast, iRacing for putting it on, the World of Outlaws for sanctioning this deal. It's just really cool, especially to be able to win it the first time.
There he was, driver in the number 24, Mr. Zach Leonardi. You saw his face beautifully plastered on the hood of that machine. He comes away not only as the winner tonight, but with the championship comfortably in hand after issues came to the 07 of Howard Weaver. Second place finisher, though, on the night is Mr. Virgil Graham. He's in the 42, and he stood by with Cam Walsh.
Virgil Graham, well, 13th position in the championship standings. Second position here at the dirt track at Charlotte to finish out the 2018 campaign, the VLR driver. Virgil, how you doing?
Better. Now that I see I finished 13th, I think the top 15 get to keep the pro license. I was on the outside looking in, so I was really planning to have to run the qualifier series again. I know that there's a drop coming up, but hopefully that stays like it is, and I don't have to worry about it, and I keep that license.
Yeah, and overall, though, here at the dirt track at Charlotte, you had a really good heat. Started second, finished second. The feature, the track really kind of started to come apart. A lot of ruts. You ended up having a great fight with Alex Bergeron. Take me through that.
Yeah, I had a baby in July, so I just really haven't been able to get on and run as much as I need to. And when you've got the kind of talent that these Pro Series guys have, you got to have some time to put into it. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to compete. So this week I was able to get some time, run some laps, and I felt good. I had somebody send a set to me, which helped a lot. I got a good qualifying run. Same thing with the heat. Really in the heat, I was faster than Howard, but I didn't really want to mess with his championship contention right there. So I just kind of rode behind him, let him start there in second next to Zach. I mean, the track worked out great. It kind of picked apart through the middle, but you could still slide it up into the grip. And my set worked good. The problem was about mid race. I realized that I was low on gas. I didn't put enough gas in it, so I saved for about 20 laps there. That's when you kind of saw me dropping back. And then by the time I recognized that I had enough, I started going after it again. I caught Alex pretty quick and was able to get by him. And then, of course, as soon as I passed him, my car got so tight I could barely handle it. I don't think I had anything for Zach, even if there was a caution, but that was definitely the best car I've had yet this year.
Yeah, so Virgil Graham, just like that, finishing out a good 2018 season. It's the inaugural season. You'll be back. So for everybody at VLR, I'll give you the floor, and who you'd like to give a thanks to.
Yeah, obviously, thanks to iRacing and all that they do, putting on these series and all the hard work that they do. World of Outlaws for sponsoring this. You guys up in the booth and just everything that you guys do with making this a realistic broadcast that hundreds of people, thousands of people go and watch weekly. Obviously, Team VLR, Jeremy Ray at XRG Sim Paints. If you like what you saw there on that car, go ahead and give him a holler. And I got to thank my wife and let me race and be up here and make some money.
Yeah, somebody with a 3-week-old that decided to bomb the broadcast at the very end of the race last week. I can certainly say, and congratulations to you in that as well. And, well, you know what? Looks like we're going to be seeing you next season.
Thanks, guys.
So that is Virgil Graham, your second place finisher tonight, Randy. You know what? If you were going to have a good night, tonight was the night to do it.
Yeah, tonight was definitely the night to do it, especially with all the situations and the points. Of course, we had a huge focus on the top two with their championship fight, but of course, like was said, there's still licenses potentially on the line, people trying to maintain and get their ticket into next season. A lot of people really fighting with that. One driver who wasn't really as worried about that, just wanted to keep himself into that third spot in the points, and I believe he comfortably did so tonight. Alex Bergeron comes home in third and rounds out the top three in points. Alex, what's it like for you coming in tonight? Because I know to a certain extent you would have wanted to be part of that championship fight. Be able to come out and have you looked very competitive this evening, and you still managed to hold on to the third place in points. Are you at least satisfied about that coming to the end of the season?
Yeah, for sure. Third place is always good. Third place in the championship as well is very good. For sure, I would have liked to battle for a championship, but it's a podium finish is always good. So I can't worry about that. It's just it was a good night for us, and I didn't want to be in a wreck with Howard, so I just stayed on the bottom and. He got tagged there in the middle of the race, or at the beginning of the race, I should say. But it's part of it, and sad for him. But it's congrats to Zach for a championship. He deserved it. He was very fast tonight, and I couldn't get to him. I think I had a different gear, is not as good as he had. So I think I was more for bottom than the top, and the top was the place to be at tonight. And I tried everything to all my position, and podium tonight is very good. So. I'm looking forward for next year. Hopefully it's going to be a bit better for us.
Now, talking about, both of the championships as we have the sprint car finale coming up next week. You're part of this championship until some things went haywire for you. Very similar situation panned out in the sprint cars. The only driver to be really involved with both championships deep into the season. 2019 for you, the season where you feel like there's a bit of unfinished business when it comes to both of these championships?
Yeah, next year I will definitely do everything and hopefully have some luck, to be able to get as many wins as possible, and hopefully don't have anything go like not my way, like my steering wheel unconnecting and my Oculus and all that stuff that, just it's like that. But hopefully next year we have a better luck and do a better job and be like 2 position higher in championship in late models and 1 position higher in sprint cars.
Thanks for joining us, Alex. Congratulations on being 3rd place tonight and 3rd in the points. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that VLR machine?
Well, thanks to VLR, to all my partners, newab.com. Make sure to check them out online to get your apparels now. Buying shop at Kinney's, BK Designs, their collective, their car racing. Marink, racingdude.com. Ultimate Dude TV, and shout out to everyone watching tonight. Coleman Gulick, Tharbert Keimer, Paul Kinney. And also shout out to everyone, Daniel Powell, Joshua, and Garrett Robinson. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys for broadcasting as well, and World of Outlaws and iRacing for putting this on and making a great season and looking forward for next year.
There he is, Alex Bergeron, driver of the number 12, had a very, very successful year, I would say, Cam. Even though he came up short in a couple of the championships, he was one of the most fun drivers to watch across both series, across all 21 races that have been run thus far.
Yeah, I mean, just between the 2 different series, it's kind of a night and day. The first races in the sprint cars were interesting. The first races in the super late models made everyone kind of go, you know what, this is what a world championship looks like. And while the sprint boys ended up getting themselves sorted out, and they've put on a great show ever since. They just went from strength to strength in these super late model machines. I gotta say, I've loved it. This whole season has been a blast, though I haven't been here for every race, of course, with the birth of my child and some other issues. But you know what? I gotta say, Randy, it has been a very, very fun time. And you know what? It's only going to get better with the addition of more tracks next season.
Yep, it's going to be mighty, mighty entertaining as we work towards 2019 for the World of Outlaw Craftsman Championship Series. However, there's still one more round to go for the sprint car group. Be here next week, same time, same place for the finale of the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Championship Series. That championship has already been decided. The driver from Altus Esports and from Australia, Tim Ryan, has already claimed that championship, but you still have drivers in situations that they are fighting for their licenses going in towards next season, so they do not have to qualify through the variety of iRacing Pro Series. And oh, by the way, over the next few weeks, a lot more, handful more, in fact, championships for the variety of World Championships on the iRacing service being decided, with the likes of the World Championship Grand Prix Series coming down to Coda, as well as the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series coming down at Homestead. So be sure to be aware to see how all of these things pan out and who's going to be making themselves several $1,000s richer. For everyone who makes these broadcasts possible, from the World of Outlaws and Craftsman making this championship happen alongside iRacing, as well as our partnership with Dirt Vision all championship long. We would like to thank you for consistently making us a part of your Monday nights. And until next week, bye-bye.